Hello, hello, and welcome to our finale episode of AWS Tech Tales. I'm your host, Matt Burke.
And I am the co-host, Samara Reaño, and
I am your guest host, Toan Tran.
Welcome, everybody. So, this is the show where we talk about real life customer issues, what you can do to solve them. We tell tales of all sorts of incidents, new features, demos. And today, oh, hey, Sam, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let us know if you've seen an episode before, if you're returning. We've got some folks that tune in for every episode, and today is the same as ever. But this is our last show for the year. We're going to take a little break. We've done, Zamar and I have done about 80 episodes of Tech Tales in the past 2 years.
Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
Mooney says, very excited. Oh, Irietta says the last one just for this year so far.
Just for this year, 2025, the last one for 2025.
Yeah, we hope to be back. But that we wanted to kind of go out and think about like how much things have changed in the 2 years that we've been streaming.
And things that have not changed.
Yes, exactly. And it's been kind of crazy because when Samara and I started the show, we didn't know how long it would run. We didn't know, when we started, we did maybe like 4 episodes. We took a break. We did 6 episodes. We took a break. And then last year we did, and I'll bring it up on the screen for folks to check out. Last year we did 38 episodes.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And and for folks that have been reaching out, and I appreciate the comments, we have our show notes for every episode from 24 and 25, but our video links are not here because Twitch went through some hygiene. But we do have the links from the episodes. But really, if anything that's 2025, all of these episodes are still here, and you can watch them on YouTube. And let me pull up one more recent one.
Let me tell you something that I just saw in the chat. Sam says this show should run at least 2 days per week.
I agree.
A lot of work
I agree with that.
Shows. I wish. But for example, we did resiliency testing a few weeks ago. So all these are living on YouTube. These will still be there. So if you're missing the show, or if you want to catch something that you missed, now you've got your Mondays free to do so in future.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you can also add them to your every Monday for the rest of the 2025 year that we're not here. You can just watch it just to still be part of your routine.
You can watch your favorites, rewatch your favorite ones that you loved.
Exactly.
That you're like, that was really interesting.
Yeah, take some time. There's so many awesome shows that are on the channel that are, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching this on Twitch. There's, every Friday there's AWS on air at the very least, and I love that show. So what are we going to talk about today, folks? I've got Erie, Sam, Munichata in the chat. Please let us know if you're, who else is there. But today we're looking to talk about user notifications. And the reason why I thought that this might be an interesting topic is because way back when, almost 2 years ago, on our first episode ever of AWS Tech Tales, we talked about this subject. Zamar, what do you remember of that first episode that we did?
Oh, geez. I thought, first of all, I was like, I hope that I don't sound too awkward. But then I also remember that we were looking forward to all the different questions that we were going to get asked during the episode. I think that we worried a lot about just making sure that we provided a good flow into having a good discussion. That was kind of the idea that we had for the show. And so, yeah.
So I do want to bring up a clip. I don't know if folks in the chat, I asked Toe and Zamar if they've ever seen Mystery Science Theater before the show. They said no. I don't know if folks in the chat have. But if I put this on stage,
take a look at 2 times.
I've already I've got our episode here, but I'm going to skip to the most relevant part, and then Zamara and Tope, feel free to stop, interrupt it. I will pause the video and we can talk about like what's changed, because some of these things now are inaccurate or defunct.
Oh, Matt, I'm glad you say that because we were talking about this earlier, and tech has a life cycle. So typically, tech is good for 18 to 24 months. Usually, it's relevant for that amount of time. And you said it's been 2 years since you've covered this, so this is about that time where it's going to get refreshed or completely thrown out the window. It kind of depends on what's happening, with the world.
Yeah, and it feels like things that like, especially, and we're not going to talk too much about AI, but in the world of AI, it's like every 3 months maybe.
Yes, 3
Mhm.
months.
So I'm going to start playing this clip. It's really hard for me to get to the exact moment, but
Time tool that could
we're gonna
help
come
us
in
to
here.
monitor access issues and emit alerts whenever a permission
so really quick, the first part of this episode, we talked about SCP policies. This has not changed, thankfully. Well,
Uh-huh.
you could
Yeah.
do way more at SCPs that
Mhm,
you could do 2 years ago. The problem we were solving was, what if you removed your own access by getting rid of your full allow on your SCPs? So
in action happens.
No, that's a great question. So generally what we recommend, especially for like root access, things like that, I don't have any. Actually, I want to quickly talk about the AWS Health
Here we go.
dashboard. This has been recently refreshed in that if you go to status.aws.com, it'll redirect you here if you're logged into your AWS account. And this is how you can kind of stay informed about the overall health of your accounts, your workloads, what's going on. And you can see here there's both open and recent issues, scheduled changes. So if you have maintenance that's scheduled to happen on maybe your EC2 or your RDS databases, and then other notifications. So let's say there's a billing notification or something, that's where it'll fall here. And fortunately, I don't have any, maybe fortunately, I don't have anything in here. But one common thing that I've seen folks miss is that sometimes these events happen and they're really short, or maybe it happened over the weekend and it didn't really impact you, and you're trying to figure out, why did this alarm go off, right? Well, thank you, AWS Daria. Thanks so much for joining. And we look at this event log, and you can actually see all the different events that have occurred. We had.
So I think what's funny about this is that this part is still the same.
Yeah.
The console looks, hold on, I'll pull up the console. Of course, I have to sign back in. while we're talking.
I actually like it when the console stays the same, only because I have a certain way to filter things and look for things. And sometimes they change things too dramatically, and that actually annoys me. So I actually like that it looks familiar, and I like that, so I could find what I need to find.
So this is around, we got some more busyness here. We'll talk about what that means. But if I just go to event log on here, it should be, looks around about the same, I think, if I flip back.
On July 7th with CloudFront.
Yeah, that looks about the
EC2, June 30th. So you can check in to see, was there an issue with AWS here? And you can also do this at the organization level. You can see it across all your accounts, which is super cool.
Which is good.
But the problem with this can be that you don't want to have to check the notifications every time. So what can we do to make it a bit more proactive? What can we make it so that you get alerted as soon as we push this into your console? And that's where we talk about, so an admin privileged account can, by using service control policies. Yeah, so there's actually some example SCPs that are on our website where it'll show what that looks like, blocking root access or denying root access.
Oh, that's another, I didn't even think about that.
Accounts. You could still get in from like a management account.
So that's advice that's pretty funny now, because you don't need an SCP to block it, because you could remove root access.
Mhm.
Yep.
So if folks want to pull away the root access, let me find that, hold on.
And we'd actually recommend you do delegated account. We wouldn't actually have you ever do anything from the root
To the
account.
root account, exactly.
Yes, that too. Where would I find? Oh, I can. Cause yeah, we've got so much delegated access now. How do I kill the root on some of my accounts? I'm trying to pull something up. Folks, let us know in the chat what has changed for you in the past couple of years in AWS.
I'm interested to know how they manage those notifications now, how they manage organizational health, especially if you're part of those, organizations, you work on those teams, where if something is going wrong with your workload, how do you check the status? How do you find out the root cause? What could be causing it? And I think that we discussed that a lot as well during our first episode. So just wondering if this is still the case for some of our viewers, if they've actually come up with some other ways to do this more proactively and more automatic way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to start this up. Oh, so Sam says, now you can integrate it with AWS chatbot, which sends, yes, that's true. Which here's another piece of that, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but now AWS chatbot is not called AWS chatbot.
That's right.
We renamed that service to just be part of Q. Okay, let me hit play again.
There's some ways to not completely lock yourself out if needed. So we're going to talk a little bit about, probably spend 10 minutes or so on health awareness. So if you're just joining us today, this is our first episode of AWS Tech Tales.
So
Tamara, do you want to kind of give the setup again?
Yes, Matt and myself are going through these episodes that we're going to be having every Monday. This being our episode number 1, where we're pretty much introducing the show, and we're going to be doing some live troubleshooting on the more common scenarios of like the things that you should be looking at, or the things that you might want to troubleshoot whenever we're encountering different problems as users. Every week we're going to have a different topic, and in a little bit we can bring forward what those topics would be again. Today we're pretty much talking about just some basic troubleshooting, for example, with like SCPs, for example. That was just our past segment. And now how can we be get more proactive about getting notified on, let's say, having a service issue and just being alerted about it.
So our official solution for this, and you can build your own, we have a lot of really cool tools using EventBridge to do so, is AWS Health Aware. And this is like, if you just want to have a quick deployment to say, hey, I want to get an email, a Slack notification, a Teams notification for any issue with AWS.
So wait, I'm going to pause here and say, this is the meat of why I'm bringing up this old episode. This is the meat of it, folks.
Is how you can deploy it. So we're going to start talking about how to deploy this in your environment, but we'll walk through. It's basically a CloudFormation template that sets up Lambda that fires every so often to check to see if there's any events. And if so, it's going to push that to your Slack, Teams. I don't know anyone else outside of Amazon that uses Chime. Email, and then any other sources. Let's say if you have PagerDuty set up, or you want to send it to a third party, you can use EventBridge to do that. The one caveat here that may kind of strike this from the books for most of you is that you do need business or enterprise support to make this work, because those things are part of the health API. So,
okay, all right, I'll pause there, because then that's also an interesting caveat that I didn't know that I said at the time, which I think that our new solution, you don't necessarily need that anymore. So that's a good plus. So for all of you that are still on developer support, basic support, you're just using your AWS account to run, like I do, a bunch of static websites or whatever, but you want a notification in case something goes awry in AWS land, then you're in luck.
You know what's funny about this, Matt? Chime. Only Amazon people use Chime, but now actually Amazon people aren't supposed to use Chime anymore. So that is
another thing. Yeah,
that's another thing that we're
finally getting rid of Chime slowly but surely.
Yeah, Sam is like, Chime is the commission, I think.
Yeah.
Now Zoom with Team.
Most likely, if you get an invite from somebody from AWS, it will be a Zoom invite, slowly but surely.
Yeah, in all honesty, I'm not even logging in on a daily basis anymore like I used to. So
Yeah, I still, if I've done an interview, it's been on Chime, but that's also going to move at some point. Okay. So the reason I brought this up for the chat is, again, health aware was this idea that you need some way to get these health events to you in the platform where you're choosing. And in the 2 years that we've been streaming, a bunch of things have happened to make that whole solution, I don't want to say defunct, but like a native solution is maybe the best way to put it. So what I will do is pull up first. I've got too many tabs because I was bouncing around while we were talking. I'll pull up health first. I was trying to configure centralized root access while we were talking, and that got a little crazy. So part of the reason why I wanted to bring this up, and I scheduled this for our last episode too, as well, is because this is something that impacts all of you. So if you're watching this live, you're watching the recording, and you say, I don't care about user notifications, I don't care about AWS Health. Well, guess what? Starting a couple weeks ago, we're migrating your health events to AWS and user notifications, which may be a service that you may or may not be aware of. Samara, have you used AWS user notifications before?
No, I have not. I have not, because I actually really liked and I think that it was you, Toe, the one that came in and kind of walked us through the whole Heidi setup of
Yes.
the dashboard notifications. I really like that. And so, no, I have not used it myself. Have you, Matt?
I'm just starting to get my feet wet. But Toe, I think this might be a good plug for Heidi. Heidi's still important.
Yeah, organizations still use it to help with their health events dashboards. We pipe it through EventBridge and goes to S3, and you get notified based on what you're looking for. So it's regional. If you have organizations, it could go to specific teams. You could go for specific services. It actually will show. The nice thing about the AWS Health Dashboard, it incorporates things that, how you have end of life cycles, pre-planned maintenance. It will show you the percentage that's complete. So like 50% pending, 10% complete. So if you're actually tracking this as an active campaign within your org or your teams, you could actually see how far you're along. Like, hey, it's due tomorrow and we're still at 50%. We've got an issue here, folks. So there's things that you could track, and it's that's what we still use and we still like. But I'm actually really curious about this notification.
Yeah, I would say that for the dashboards, that's like to get everything in one place or kind of track changes over time. And for this, it's going to be just how do we get the right people alerted, which may be different from the way that this is normally done. Because if you did alerting, you'd either set it up through Health Aware or you'd set it up through EventBridge. And we're kind of making this a lot easier now. So I'm going to go from this page. So you're either automatically opted in, or like me, I turned it off and now I can turn it back on again. And what'll happen is if you turned it off, you have until the end of the year, and then we'll turn it on for you.
Oh, okay.
This is a migration, folks.
Yeah. You got some time to kind of get comfortable with it, kind of play around and see before it just becomes the standing option.
Or you could watch this episode and figure out how to set it up yourself.
Exactly.
It's really simple. So I turned it on, right? So now I've got 4 different subscriptions. And I think when Zamar and I first started as TAMs, I feel like one of the big pushes that we had was to make sure that our customers' contacts were up to date on their accounts.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Because that's what we use to contact you. And now we're kind of making this a bit simpler or a bit more customizable. So like, I'll give you an example. So billing notifications. Now you have both your account contacts. So where are your account contacts? We're going to go kind of deep into the world. This is my personal MapWork account. Not personal, will still work, but like my account contacts are these right here. And these are super important if they're not
They
on
are
your account.
so important, yes. And make sure that you have someone other than yourself linked to this account. Because if you lose access, you want to have someone that can, have a backup of being able to actually be able to open the access to this account, which I think it has happened to a lot of our customers in the past.
Yeah. And so by default, your primary contact as defined here is going to be your root email address. So that might be great for a personal account, but when you're operating at the scale of an enterprise or even a small business, right, and you've got multiple accounts and you've got like linked account 1, linked account 2 at your domain, then unless you're setting up a central mailbox, and even then that's a bunch of noise, like we're sending emails per account. So if you've got 100 accounts, we might be sending you over 100 emails. So while this is super important to set, now you have the flexibility to say, hey, for my billing notifications, for example, even though there's a billing contact, you can just turn that off. And I actually only want my primary. Or maybe I don't want the primary and I want the billing. Or maybe I want to add additional delivery channels. And this is where we were talking about the Teams versus Chime versus Zoom. So this is where you can specify up to 50 emails.
Oh.
So whether that's a distribution list that you've created on your end or just an email that you have, you can send it to your console mobile app. So this is not something I have set up, but I just downloaded it today.
Okay.
Or you can set it to chat channels. So if you've got Slack or Teams set up, you can use Amazon Q Developer to configure a chat client. So you can come in here. And you got the new name, Amazon Q Developer and Chat
Applications. I love that.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So that's the flexibility that you now get across all of these subscriptions. So your security events, your health operations, your account specific issues, your billing ones. So like you can then specify what specific channels that each of these would go to for all those health events.
Okay, so sorry
ahead.
to interrupt you. So instead of, it's like what you're saying, right? Instead of just going across the board and getting like hundreds of emails a day, we can categorize them into like the different areas of the organization. And then what I am understanding is, let's say we're talking about billing. If it's anything related to impacting billing, it should only go to the emails under billing that you have set up instead of just kind of going to everybody.
Yeah. And then it's also kind of going to give you that ability to like aggregate. So let's say we hit the learn more. What changes? So one thing that we should note is that the domain will change. So you'll get things that help at AWS instead of the no reply.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do this aggregation and deduplication, which I think is really helpful. So we can dedupe that an account contact is shared between the management and the member account. So we'll send you an aggregate notification here as opposed to like one per account just to make sure that every account got it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
and
really
then
nice.
plus address handling. So you can do plus address. This is something that I do in my own accounts. Is you add the plus and then it will send, you can kind of categorize it by using that plus. So it'll treat that email address as the same email address. So if we know that you're doing a plus just because you're opening up, let's say it's Matt Burke +1, +2 on each of my accounts, we'll know that it's going to the same place and we'll dedupe it.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
So again, you can go and turn this on. So where to do that would be organization settings, or wait, hold on. Yeah, go to organization settings and then AWS oh, here we go. Wait, where is?
Maybe delivery channel? No.
No, I think it said
Notification configuration, maybe?
organization settings and
Oh,
AWS
AWS
organizations integration
Okay.
toggle.
Okay, you're there.
Do
Huh.
you have an org, Matt? Do you have an org set
Yeah.
up? Oh.
Yeah, I have an org. That's weird. Okay. Well,
Or maybe we need to fill a ticket out for that one now.
yeah.
It's like, I don't see it.
Tell me what I'm
Here.
doing wrong.
So
Uh,
Matt, I have a question for you about the delivery channels. How
Yeah.
soon when you set it up can you get notified? Is it a 24-hour wait time or is it immediate?
That's
For
a
the
great
notifi-
question. So if you go to, so taking a step back, just like how does AWS user notifications work in general? It's not just for AWS Health, by the way. This managed notifications is both to turn on health and then manage these subscriptions that use the health API. So whether there's health events with security, health events with operations, account specific health events, and then health events with billing implications, right? Like that's what this is. But if you wanted to just create a notification, let's say you can do this quick setup, right? And we can do something that's health, right? Like 'cause this was an option here. This is new, by the way, which I think is super exciting because we were talking about this in the original episode, which is now you can do this for a whole organization, OU, or group of accounts at once. This is new. So this released, I have the what's new. Yeah, this released only a few weeks ago.
Right.
So organizational notification configuration. So this is super exciting because now we've simplified it. So if I just want all my dev accounts to filter into this configuration, I can. But to answer your question, we have these settings that we can specify. So you can get it within 5 minutes, within 12 hours, or you can get it as soon as they occur, which I think the recommended makes more sense.
Every 5 minutes.
So this will help you for, let's say, the low priority, like not creating something a lot of noise. But generally, you probably want this within 5 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
And then you can pick like what delivery channels you want, whether it's the console, whether it's chat. And then notification hubs, which is like what regions where it's going to store this configuration in. Like, so you can pick US East 1, US East 2, US West.
Just kind of like the ones that you use.
Yeah, like where is this notification data going to be stored and processed from? And so, for example, you can pick almost a ton of different services here. Like the one that I like to talk about, because people might not know that this is a newish feature, is let's say you wanted to do something that was like a cost anomaly.
So that's what that was going to be my question regarding like the billing notifications, right? Because it says about like changing billing or the like billing implication notifications. Does that kind of also goes into the grounds of like how we handle budgets or cost anomaly, like whenever you have those rules set up within your cost explorer and billing console to be able to do that?
So it would be a bit separate in that it would be like, let's say there was an issue computing your bill, right? And you're going to get some credits. And this happens sometimes. Then that would be like a billing health event where we're going to push a notification to say, hey, we're sorry you were impacted by this. We're going to credit you, or maybe you weren't charged for something, and we're going to say, hey, we need to let you know that you're going to start being charged for something, which would be different from like a budget or an anomaly, which is something you would set up.
You want to keep an eye on something specific to like a specific account, or I understand what you're saying. So for example, would it be fair to kind of compare it to like how we have like the free tier for Amazon Q in the console, right? And then you reach your free tier and now you're going to start getting charged. Will be like a health billing notification?
No, that would just be a budget.
That would just be
And
a
I
bonus.
I
Okay.
love talking about free tier. I'll plug free tier. So Toad, how familiar are you with the new free tier that we rolled out a few months ago?
I do not use the free tier at all. So please tell me all about it.
So, Toad, did you know that you can get, if you've never opened up an AWS account before, you're opening up with a brand new email address and new credit card, you can get $100 right off the bat in AWS credits that you can use for 6 months. And you can get an additional $100 for doing some basic actions like setting up a budget, like spinning up a EC2 instance. So you can get up to $200. And if you don't choose to move into the paid tier, then once that 6 months is up, we automatically close the account. We say thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure working with you.
It auto closes for you?
Yes. So if you burn all your
That's pretty
credits
sweet.
and you're like, oh, that was fun, boop, gone. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about 1 cent, 2 cent charges. It's gone.
Okay, maybe I'm dating myself, but I remember using the free tier like way back when, before I started with AWS, and I remember setting a budget and like, if I hit this, I need to shut this down and cancel. So I love that because it's you have to like set a reminder, make sure you cancel before the free year is up or how many months. So they auto shut it down for you. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I
And
was just gonna say it's not
yeah.
like one of those scenarios where you're like put like a subscription for free
Yeah.
for 1 month and then you're like get an email notification like thank you started paying.
You've automatically been subscribed for the next 30 days. You're like, oh, I missed the day to cancel.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
that's
what's cool
fantastic.
too is you can't pick, if you specify the free plan, you cannot pick an instance that would charge you money. So like you get to like, because you know how like it's always was like, oh, well, make sure when you're studying to get the T2 micro because it's
Yes.
free. You don't have, it will gray everything else out.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty proactive to making sure that you
Yeah.
actually are not spending any money.
Because it's actually very easy to spend lots of money if you're not
That's
careful.
that's why we built this. That's why it's so exciting. That's why I like demoing it. There's a whole episode of AWS On Air on free tier. If you put in the YouTube, you search for AWS free tier, you'll see some great content. But I love evangelizing it because you guys that are tuning in, I'm sure can use this. And even if you've got an account today, just see what you can do to open up a new one. And it'll tell you through qualify or not.
That's
So
the best way. That's the best way to learn AWS.
Yeah.
Is spin up things, build a lot of stuff. Now that you know that you're not going to get charged an arm and a leg, you're like, sky's the limit because it's not going to let you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or going through like the workshops and make sure you go through like the cleanup, environment cleanup
Yes,
afterwards because you
yes.
don't want to leave anything on. This is so cool.
Mhm.
So what else have I got here? Oh, so we were talking about cost anomaly detection. So just in general, you don't have to use user notifications for just health. Obviously, might be people's first foray into user notifications because we're migrating health notifications here. But you can do some essentially event bridge level rules. So I'll give you an example. So we have this anomaly detected event type, but if I was to aggregate that, this is an example of what that JSON would look like. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Is like you have all these like version, detail type, account name. And so if you wanted to say, for example, let's say you've got anomaly detection configured for your whole organization, but you wanted to route those anomalies to the right person. Now, if you went to your billing and cost management console, I'll show you what that would look like. So we go to cost anomaly detection. So I've got some monitors set up here for my cost anomaly detection. But I have a subscription that's just to this one subscriptions. It's to my own email, right?
Okay.
But let's say I wanted to send something to Zamora if it had an anomaly that had to do with a specific account or an anomaly that had to do with a specific service. So I could, for example, let me pull this over, pick any of these things to filter on. So here's like an example of filter by service. So I could say, hey, if Amazon SageMaker or Amazon QuickSight, send that to Zamora instead, or send Zamora her own notification about it. And that's the kind of level of detail that you can go into here in too many tabs.
And the user notification.
Yeah.
So how it will be handled even is like we talk about like the different teams within one organization, right? So for example, if I were the main point of contact for SageMaker service, the one that handles the budget, how we're using it, blah, 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 everything goes off to me instead of going to Matt and then Matt having to be like, hey, Samara, we noticed a SageMaker, the price went up or the price went down, trying to understand how it's just coming right to me. So there's no more middleman, which is great.
That is great.
Well, hold on. It wants me to do it without a space. And let's see if that works. So I created that. Now Zamara will get an email based on that. Chat, you've been quiet. Let us know what you're thinking about user notifications if you're going to go set some of this up today.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question to the audience, all right, about AWS Health. What do you think it cost for this notifications to your personal account to monitor things? Put a number in the chat. I can't see it, so
this came in right before your question. Hi, Robert Tables. Thank you for joining today. He says no more middleman makes the 2 pizza team go further, and then he is guessing $7.
Okay. Anybody guess higher or lower? I think you'll be surprised.
We're doing Price is Right rules here on Tech Tales.
You know what?
Yeah. Is it warmer? Is it hotter? Colder?
Just because you said it's a lower, I'm gonna say lower. Let's say like $5. Okay. That would be what I'm throwing out there.
Okay. So Samara says 5. Robert has
Robert's
7.
a 7.
Matt, you know the answer, right?
Now I'm
now he's questioning himself. He's like, do I know the answer?
Robert's saying that maybe nobody with 99 cents. I thought it was $1 that they say, Robert.
Okay. I'm gonna share the amount, all right?
Yeah.
It is 0. Just so you know, it's free. AWS Health notification is free because it is AWS communicating our health status to you.
That is, you know what? We didn't think about that.
No, seriously, because we've done the Heidi. I've done this for multiple customers, and it's actually very low priced. It's like honestly $30 for 1 million EventBridge events, which is pretty insignificant cost wise. But when AWS communicates to you, the customer, about your own services and things that we're monitoring or you're filtering, the cost is 0. It's free.
There you go. How about that for some trivia?
Yeah. Yeah, people always ask.
Today.
Yeah, everybody asks like, how much does it cost to use these notifications? And it's free. It's us, sharing information about your own accounts.
Well, yeah, I think that it's mostly because it's like what you said, right? Like when we're talking about like putting solutions together like Heidi or creating like very personalized dashboards and things like that, that it's like more services one on top of another to be able to bring in a solution specifically for like the type that you're looking for an organization. So very personalized. I feel like you always come to mind like, how much am I going to pay for something like this? But it's not, the cost is associated because of the services that you're using to create that personalized dashboard, rather than like what To was saying is the actual notification of the health status comes for free.
Correct. Yeah.
So a couple more things to call out. I put the blog in the chat for folks, is how this will look like in your day-to-day. So in your notifications, again, we're using AWS user notifications. You have AWS managed. So when this is enabled, which I'll refresh this, see if it comes up. Yeah, see now I've got this list of notifications here for my health events. So I've got all my health events in the past month that are aggregated. So that's one change. So if you want to check, hey, do I have a health event? You don't have to go anywhere. You can literally just check your notifications.
And
then
so
if you've
for
got
the user,
What-
a question there for the user configuration, I don't want to get ahead of myself. If you're going to cover that, then you can just tell me wait, and I'll wait. But I just had a question about it.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is there like a number of users that you can configure, or is it just like depending on who you add, then it becomes the number of people that have access to it? Or is specific to that one user for notifications?
So for specific folks, like you can do up to 50 delivery channels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's email, console, like your console app, your Teams room, for example. These contacts, these are account contacts. So again, like if you've got different account contacts per account, maybe you've got sub BUs or groupings of accounts of all the same people, then we will only fire for those accounts and we'll dedupe it for you. So again, I think part of the benefit here is that instead of just sending, oh, we've got 50 accounts with the same person on all 50 accounts and we sent you 50 emails, we're going to send you one notifying you that all these accounts are affected by this thing. Does that help you? Does that answer your questions, Amara?
Yes, that helps.
Okay. So let me go back to, so that's one change. We covered this, we covered this. And then this is how to manage it. So again, you're going to want to turn this on from the organization side of things. And then you're going to want to make sure, and this is something that folks should already be doing, you're going to get these emails from health@aws.com. So if you don't have that allow listed, this bigger. If you don't have this allow listed, you're going to want to do that. I know a lot of things get blocked in an email filter. Sometimes.
I was just going to say for those people that, like, for example, it doesn't come straight to their inbox, but it kind of has like its own folder to go to. So it's like, keep in mind that you have to like update that to make sure that you're classifying these notifications better.
And then this is the real reason why I brought this up is that we have in the blog the migrating from AWS Health Aware. Because we're like, it's time. It's served its
like
purpose.
what Toe was talking about earlier, the life cycle of it.
So it says why migrate and tells you a little bit of how to do it. So that is the big deal. We got maybe about 10 minutes or so.
Well, Robert said, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He was talking about the pricing plus all the updates.
And so you'll see in your health dashboard here, new for user notifications, which I think is important. And again, this should be a big blue box in your account today to tell you that we've started to migrate you. So this is
usually, you always have that banner there whenever a change is coming in to kind of give attention whenever you navigate to that part of the console.
I always find too, like Toe was saying, we're getting a lot better at doing these scheduled changes, and a lot of folks are like, hey, you never told me that AWS is doing X, Y, and Z. They're deprecating this, they're updating that, and it's all going to be here. So like I got this on my account, ECS task patching retirement. So it's ending in a couple days. My account's affected because Fargate has deployed a new platform version. So it gives me all the things that I need to know.
So you know what, and that's why, like, I feel like that was kind of like the main topic that a lot of customers and a lot of people kind of brought forward, just like you said. So solutions like Heidi that Toe discussed before has given that kind of like that answer to that, right? Like, how can I aggregate them all in one place? How can we actually sort through the dashboard or something, a solution that will be very specific to just like let's say, workload specific in an organization, right? Because everybody moves at a different pace, even if they're in the same organization. People have like different priorities whenever they're working in different teams. So I think that was like a way to answer to those questions, or answer to that calling of customers and users, referring to it as like a better way to be notified of this events or maintenance or updates or even extended support. We even have dashboards for that.
Mhm.
So
Hey
now I
Matt,
want to pull up the dashboards.
when you when you go back to the planned life cycles and the schedule changes, I believe that you could download it to a CVS file. I wanna say that was a feature.
So
We
you
have
can
a
download to
question
a
from
CSV.
we have
Oh,
a
yeah.
question from Sam. It says, is the rotation period for these historical events still the same?
It should still be 90 days.
Yeah, and
90
that's
days.
why you start to
Yeah.
tilt towards, especially at a larger organization, trying to deploy a dashboard of your own, because after 90 days it's gone, because we're looking at it like, okay, like after 3 months, like why do you care about something that
Yeah.
happened 3 months ago? But larger organizations do care, which is why we offer these solutions that you can scrape this stuff and store it on your own.
Mhm.
This is the health events. This isn't the Heidi one. Hold on. Trying to find your. Do you have is there a demo of it, a public demo open?
I'd
Of
have to
it?
look that up.
I know. I'm looking for it. So I have the GitHub, but I don't have the.
I found the blog for it.
Yeah, so I'll put it in the chat. So folks can, and you can also check out our Heidi episode from, how long ago was this? Which is
It's
crazy.
probably a year.
Yeah, I'm
know.
leaning towards 2024. Let me
Yeah.
see.
We're probably out of that life cycle too, Matt.
I
You
know,
say.
it's crazy. I think we did it
Actually,
as,
we're working on updating the workshop that we have, because like we mentioned, Amazon QuickSide is changing to Amazon Quick. Oh, do you know about that?
things are gonna change.
Yeah, we have to refresh the workshop anyways, because there's new features, and they've integrated Amazon Q, which was part of the solution, into Amazon Quick. So you can actually do chat features into QuickSight already. Like, it's just built in. You don't have to enable it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So, we got a few more minutes. I'm trying to think what else we can show or what else we can pull up for our folks in the chat. If there's anything that you want to see, if there's any old topics you want to bring up, did folks get off the Cura wait list? That's what
Oh,
I would like to know.
yes, that's what I want to know as well. I know I was just telling Matt before we had the chat that I had like some people reach out and like talk about that, episode. So just wondering if any of you have gotten to actually get in and play around with it now. Oh no, Erie. No, they're still waiting.
It's
Oh,
fun.
no.
When you get in, it's fun. It's a really fun.
Robert Tails is still waiting. Okay. We're gonna I wish we could just like post to the mods and be like,
Yeah, like, hey,
"Let them in."
let the Amazon Tech Tales people give them first priority. Right?
And then, now that today is our last episode of the year, I'm pretty sure that once they get access, the first thing is going to be like, we can't even go tell Samara and Matt that we got access now. We got to wait until next year.
Yeah. I don't want to advocate spamming the chat for other shows, but the producers can let us know if you guys reach out.
Yeah. Or you can always comment if you have like, an account within, like, to send us a message to the Tech Tales, right? In the Builder Hub.
Yeah, the Builder, if you got a Builder Hub, Builder Center account, you can
Builder
leave
Center,
us
yes.
a comment on our page. This will be here for all your links. Just if you go to builder.aws.com, just put AWS Tech Tales, and the show page should come right up, or you can even type show, and then you'll definitely get the show page, which is
Yeah.
I'm always doing.
Robert
Oh,
says,
Robert.
"Oh no, last episode, Satch." Yes, but we will be back in 2026. We're only gone for
Hopefully.
2025.
Or
So yeah,
or the new format, a new way. We'll follow what I guess the couple last points I'll make is this isn't Heidi, but I did want to also plug Health Events Dashboard. So if you want to get this, I think what's interesting here is, like, again, you're aggregating these numbers and you're seeing things over time, which this is also super helpful to track. Again, user notification is going to send your notification to the right place, but it's not going to track it over time. And then going to give you, details on the resources and things like that. And you can explore through events. So if you've got your cloud intelligence dashboards, which I know many of you have, you can use the command line tool and just deploy this as extra. If you've got the data collection, which I guess is a whole nother set of things. But if you got data collection in your accounts, then this is easy.
This is a really great pre-planning tool. Like if you need a pre-plan for, quarter 1 of 2026, you could look ahead and see, like, okay, end of life is happening this. Schedule maintenance, like this is actually a really great tool.
Yeah, I think that especially with like you mentioned, right, as you look through ahead in the year, there is notifications that have like been there for a while for some accounts because no one has been paying attention to them or no one has been able to kind of keep track of them. So this is kind of like one group meeting. Everybody gets together. They're all here. You don't have to go through like different health events through the console to be able to manage it. You just come here, you filter it by your account, and there you go. You have all those for the, that you need to take care of, essentially.
Oh, and what's good about when you go through and you have an end of life cycle, there's people usually find out that there's like hundreds of resources that they don't even use anymore, and they can terminate all of them, save some money. It's actually a really good time to keep clean.
Yeah,
all the unused, unutilized EC2 instances or whatever resources that you have. So
I guess it's kind of like what is it called? Like a cost optimization. You're pretty much doing some cost optimization when you're doing that. So we have Robert say, I might have said this before, but kudos to the Builder Center UI devs on their dark mode. Superb.
It's a great plug. Thank you, Robert.
We have one more. It says the existence of a spring cleaning implies the existence of come on, clean as you go. Oh yeah. But sometimes
there's always need for spring cleaning.
Sometimes we just forget. We said we'll do it tomorrow, and then things come up, and then you just don't. So yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So, I don't know if folks know, but we do. If you got to the end of this episode, we really appreciate it. You can always reach out at our Tech Tales email, aws-tech-tales@amazon.com. You can always reach out to Zamara, myself, and even Toe on LinkedIn. If you want to send us a message, you have a suggestion for episodes, maybe ways to improve the show, that'll be on when this show notes goes live, maybe later this week, maybe next week, depending on when I get to it. We have in every show notes the links to the episode, which we will include. And I really loved last week's episode.
Oh, last week's episode was pretty cool.
Controlled chaos. And we've got everybody's LinkedIns at the bottom. So feel free to reach out. Feel free to say hi. We know we've got a lot of folks that have been checking and tuning in every week. So we really appreciate your viewership.
Letting us be part of the beginning of the week. So that's been really great. So definitely give us an email and say we finally got access and now we're playing around with it.
And share what you build. I love seeing what people build some really crazy, interesting things, like things that you would never think about. You're like, oh, that's actually a really good solution. And
exactly.
If you use Kiro and you build it in like an hour or two instead of a week, it's amazing.
I already have some ideas with the World Cup coming around next year, so
very exciting. Well, thanks, Toe. Thank you so much for jumping in. You actually were on our last finale too from last year. Remember when we had everyone come back?
It's going to be a tradition now.
So-
You have to ask me back every finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks, chat. Yeah, we're just way to pattern. And thanks so much, chat. Thanks, everybody. It's been an amazing ride, sending every Monday evening with all of you. Zamara, any parting words?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss doing this every Monday. Actually, it's become part of my Sunday routine of getting ready. Like, okay, I'm gonna do the episode tomorrow. Just kind of the preparation, the things that we talk about. Just coming and having a good laugh with all of you. You guys are always being so involved in all of our episodes, and I love that. So definitely hope that you got a lot out of this show this year, and that look forward to hearing some feedback or just letting us know if you're trying new things. Reach out by email.
Call to action. Check out your AWS Health notifications. If you don't have it already turned on because we turned it on for you, maybe you hit the button by mistake, make sure to turn it on. Go configure those settings. That way you'll know if there's a problem, whether it's an AWS Health event or not. And that, I think, is the greatest thing to know when you're down in the fire troubleshooting like we've done week over week. And Robert Teva says, get an account on builder.aws.com. I agree. If you don't have one, sign up. There's a lot of great content being put out day after day on Builder.
And take advantage of that free
AWS.com.
tier too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because it'll shut down if you don't, after you hit your limit.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Thank
rest
you,
of your week.
Toe. Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
for having me. Bye, everyone.